I just watched her, listened to half of a video about this woman who had been a border patrol officer for 6 years, and now she's like speaking out about it and about how horrible it was and how they were hunting human beings, and she felt like a fucking Nazi, and how immigrants that were crossing the border illegally were beaten and raped and all by the our people, and I'm like, of course they are. I mean, they were probably used to it back in their home country, and that's why they came here. And then they're like, oh, I feel it so at home now. I'm getting beaten and raped and stuck in cages. But anyway, it's really disturbed. The whole border crisis, the whole immigrant, the whole world thing has got me really, it's quite disturbed. I spoke to a close friend of mine who's quite a bit younger than me yesterday, and she has, her partner is, he entered illegally when he was 16 he came across the Mexican border, but he walked, rode, hitchhiked, crawled all the way from El Salvador, and was malnourished, very small at the time, very scared. The reason that he came was because his mother had been able to get here some years previous, like 12 years prior. She had been able to get here somehow, I don't know how she did it, in order to work, to send money, because her children, I mean, they were all starving. And somehow she got here and was sending money home to them, her family. Her children were living with, I think, her sister. And she was receiving the money and then feeding her kids. So what then happens is, apparently what did happen, some gang people found out about this money coming in, and found out where this woman was in the United States, and began corresponding with her somehow. I don't know if it was by phone, by mail, I don't know how that all went down. Telling her that they're going to kill her son. They know who he is, they know where he is, if she doesn't send them money. This young man held himself hostage, had himself hidden at a relative's house for 2 years, trying not to be, they told his mother they would chop him up in little pieces and mail his body to her if she did not be sending them money instead of her own kids, absolutely terrifying. And the story that, she relayed to me that he had told her, this is the problem. We get, if we see it as we can't take all these people, this is terrible. We don't have the facilities. We don't have housing, food. We don't have what it takes to take care of these people, because we have tons of messed up people in the United States as it is. And then you find out what these young people are going through, or anybody down there below the border, and your heart goes out to them, and we're stuck not knowing, like she says, should he be, should he be arrested? Should he be sent back? His status is pending. He's been in the, court system trying to get complete legal status for, I don't know, over 5 years. And of course, the backup in the courts and yada, yada, yada. But he was picked up after a harrowing trip. I don't know how long it took him to get here. It might have taken months. The family, she scraped together every cent she had to pay this, underground tour guides to bring them over. It was hundreds of people. They were being chased by helicopters. They were being chased with probably dogs. I mean, I don't know. She just described, it brought me to tears to hear, what a brief of what this young man had went through. And he was then subsequently held in a facility for months, several months, before releasing him to his biological mother. I'm not there. I don't know all the ins and outs, but why his mother was like, I'm right here, I'm right here, I'm right here. Why wasn't he just kind of released within, 3 days to her? I don't understand that. it would seem it would be a lot cheaper to give these kids back to their parents, or I don't know. I don't have all the answers. I guess what I'm trying to say is it is terrible on all sides. For the Americans who want the border closed, I do want the border closed. But I mean, I realize also that there's families that are separated. Well, why did they come here illegally? Well, why did they? Well, why? I don't know what the answer is. But I do not believe that jailing these people is the answer. You're like, what are you going to do with them? What are you going to do? I don't know. To just be like, no, they need to somehow, can we not help them fix their own country? I mean, we've certainly went to all kinds of other countries and set up camp with our military in order to try to bring some kind of semblance of order to the area. Now, they're withdrawing all the troops from Afghanistan, and the Taliban's pretty much fully taken over. Or they're getting ready to, apparently. I don't know. I'm not a newsy person, because I don't believe half of what I hear anyway. But I realize these things are happening. I just don't think we're given the details in truth. Anyway, so why aren't we sending troops to Mexico? Why aren't we stopping the way that this government is treating their people, or El Salvador, or wherever? Why? And then these people are like, help us! And we're just like, nah. Or we're like, okay, the people that are fleeing certain death or whatever, then we shove them in prison. And I don't know what the answers are. I just want to say, I think it's easy for us to, when we're overwhelmed with these situations, be like it's us against them. And we lose our ability to see these as humans because we're already overrun. We're already overtaxed. And we do see that riffraff is coming in as well. So we're just like, oh, we don't need these drug dealers. We don't need these whatever. And they're trafficking children across the border. There's no doubt about it in my mind. So, but the Border Patrol, as told by this former Border Patrol agent, they are also trafficking the children. Well, I knew that because I was trafficked as a young person just locally in my neighborhood by my own patriotic Americans waving the fucking flag every July 4th and being polite to my parents and eating dinner at my table with me. Yeah, because the enemy is in your own bag. Your own people are your enemy. So I realize, yes, the Border Patrol is in on the human trafficking, but there are decent people in the mix, just like in the churches. I went and there was so many of the church people bashing me, and you're just a sinner, but there was actually good people mixed in there that were like, thinking like I was, like, we're going to show the love of Jesus to the world. We're gonna shine our little lights on a hill, and everybody's gonna know that God loves us all. We're in there. We're mixed in there, and it's such a mind fuck to realize that all the people around you don't feel like you do. They don't want the love of God showered down on the earth. They don't want this. And then it took me 50-some years to figure this out. I just can't come to terms with it. I mean, my 21-year-old son to convince me that people are evil. I said, no, they're not. And I mean, they can't be. Like, well, then why don't I feel that way? Well, you're special, Mom. I don't feel special. I feel normal. I feel like what normal should be, which is live and let live, stay at everybody else's business, work hard as you can to take care of yourself, so that if you ever can't, those around you that you have taken care of through the years will turn around and take care of you too. We take care of one another. I don't know what to do about the border crisis. I don't have any answers, but I'd like to say that I do see, like, let's be a little bit more compassionate, and we gotta root out the evil ones amongst ourselves and amongst ourselves that are in charge. These people wearing uniforms, they're not exempt. They like to act like they are. We could topple this whole thing if we wanted to, people, but you're too good. We just got to listen to authority. God put it in place for us. No, not necessarily. All right. Have a great day, if you can. Trying to pray for me that I can go full carnivore for at least 90 days. My pain is through the roof. I am completely crippled. I do believe it's my own fault, and I will not be blaming anyone else but myself. To hell with tortillas, to hell with bread. sugar is your enemy, and I do believe that is why I can almost barely walk sometimes. The inflammation, I have things that look like blood vessels are bursting around my knees. There's bruising. I'm not even, I mean, it looks like somebody grabbed me with pliers around the freaking Achilles tendons. It's bad. I'm like, I think I've done this to myself, so I'm fully to blame, and pray for my success. I did have a cup of coffee this morning with a teaspoon of sugar in it. Shame on me. What I'm trying to, my goal is to be full carnivore in the next 3 days for like at least 90 days, which means I got to give up the coffee with the teaspoon of sugar in the morning with the cream. It's got to go, because I think it's spurring the urge to continue with some sugar later on. The juice. Have a little vodka in there, man. Like, woohoo! You know, yay. No, not yay. It's sucking hard. It sucked so hard, I took a 200 milligram Motrin yesterday. I don't think it did dick. But anyway, because I don't do drugs, you know. I try not to, real hard. I know alcohol's a pain. But, I mean, it's the mental thing where I'm in denial. Lots of people are. I challenged my husband. I said, if I go 30 days carnivore, I want you to do the next 30 days carnivore with me. And he's like, what do you want me to do? I'm like, oh, I piqued his interest because I know he has inflammation from some little habits, you know, his little fruity drink or whatever, because otherwise he eats very well. I just think over time at his age, at 61, it has eaten away at his back problems and this and that. And I think if I can do this, pray with me, and I know I can do it if I really just got to just jump on that wagon and roll. I've done it before. I did it when I quit being plant-based. I went 60 days and I ate 3 ribeyes with butter a day, and that was it. I mean, oh my God, it straightened me out so well for so long that I was able to go on later and abuse myself for a long time. So anyway, before I got this bad. God help me. God help you. Peace out.